Welcome to Week Gen Z.
Focused on young adults in the Northwest
And their careers in a post-pandemic world. Fancy yourself a successful entrepreneur?
We talk to local star entrepreneurs, finding out how they got to where they are.
And what they learnt along the way.
How's it going, Ciara?
Yes, those things.
So tell us a little about UVRS.
I suppose a lot of people might see it more than they hear about it. UVRS is a social enterprise. We're based in the Playhouse in Derry. And the aim of the company is to basically transform spaces and places around the city. So we can create new content for the city centre, murals, street art, graffiti. And we do a lot of workshops with young people and kids and stuff.
Would you do work for sets in the Playhouse too?
I have done in the past, yeah. So I suppose the big mural movement and the street art movement's the big main important kind of focus of the company. But you need to kind of focus on getting working to be able to start doing them big scale art projects and festivals and events. So you do that through commercial artwork. And if the Playhouse need a set done, they would hire us in to help, maybe if you want faded colors together with spray, or if there's any specific type of set that would work better with artwork, then brilliant, happy days. But I would do a mixture of different stuff, really.
What else would you do apart from sets and then the murals and all that?
Everything. Customizing cars, vans.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Everything from painting bedrooms for folk, or doing back gardens, to bars and cafes and restaurants. Doing a lot of restaurants and cafes lately with the COVID reopening. A lot of bars as well were reinvesting the time and the money they had back into the companies. So they're trying to create outdoor spaces, and graffiti and street art's always a good way to fill that space quite fast,
How did you end up starting social enterprise, and what inspired you to go down this route?
Started a long time ago, back in 2012, maybe 2011. I had started doing classes with kids, young people. I've been painting graffiti I'm 34 this year, turning 35, and I've been painting graffiti for 20 years. So grew up kind of Chantallo, Galia, Karen Hill direction, and was tagging my name, painting graffiti and stuff like that. And then as I grew up a bit older, I just kept doing it in the background. I didn't tell anybody. No one really knew who I was for quite a while. And then 2011, I was asked to do a workshop at the Playhouse. It was great being based there. And that's one of the reasons why, because they were the first people to give me a kind of in the graffiti world. And then after that, it kind of snowballed. At the time, I was studying at uni in Scotland, in Aberdeen, and I went back to art school, and I was studying design, kind of 3D design it was called. So it was a mixture between arts and product design. So during our classes, we would do professional practice modules, like yourselves, you might do at Tech, where you're learning what you would do after uni, right? Are we going to go down a fine art route? Are we going to become a designer? Are we going to do this? We're going to do that. Whereas I was doing these workshops and classes every summer, and I seen a real viable business model there. But what happened was you could only get a lot of work throughout the summer months with kids and groups and young people. So it was kind of seasonal. Whereas a social enterprise model came into play then when I went in for a competition in Scotland called the Scottish Institute for Enterprise, SIE. And I actually won the competition with the idea of the social enterprise and how we can look at trying to take back space in Northern Ireland. So giving the space back to the people and taking away the political stuff and trying to get kids to work together. And that's where the kind of model came from.
What qualities should a good business leader have?
Work ethic. I don't know. I think you have to have a vision. And especially if you're looking at enterprise or social enterprises, because if you don't have a social vision or a social goal or an end up, an overarching kind of theme that you want to try and change something, or use your ability to change something, you may as well just set up a business. Because if you're in it for profit, then you may as well just have a limited company. Whereas if you think, right, social enterprise is great because there's a good mix of two worlds. There's a very social, charitable kind of sense behind it, and movement and force and driving force. then if you look at the business enterprise, the business model, at the end of the day, you still need to make money. So you have to have a bit of a half and half. I suppose like definitely a bit of leadership and a bit of a creative vision or a social, well, my business would be a creative vision. And that's kind of one of the most important things. So if someone was to come in, they would have to share that vision. I think that's probably the easiest way is like, it wouldn't be about making money. It's about creating change. And with me, it's creative, using creative arts to change. Whereas for somebody else, it could be access to education, access to learning. It could be like Far and Wild is a good example. They're looking at teamwork, outdoor elements, adventure, and they're a social enterprise as well. And they're trying to do it the similar kind of social goals, but with a different kind of model,
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I don't want to say the actual word, but just do it, get on with it. Just, if you have an idea, there's nothing I think best piece of advice is go for it. Because if you don't try it, you're never going to, if you don't fail, you're not going to learn. And we fail all the time, and you have to fail to actually progress and do things differently in the longer term. I suppose advice was just really, from a lot of people, was just go for it. Just do it, because what have you got to lose? If you're investing like a lot of money in this startup, then you have a very big risk there. Whereas with a social enterprise, especially limited by guarantee, there's no crazy like limitations there. Like if stuff hit the fan really bad, like we're only invested in £1 donation, so they're not going to chase after you for your house or your car, because you're limited by a guarantee there that the goals of the business are for a charitable or social aims. So it's not like there's no risk, because there's always a lot of risks, and financially as well as emotionally and kind of like socially too. But it's, if you don't try, you're not going to find out. That's my motto. Like if you don't ask, you don't get.
Couldn't agree more. And what advice would you give a young person starting a business?
Same thing. Go for it. or don't do it. No, I think really you need to just if you've been thinking about it and plotting by it. It took me 2 years before I actually set up the enterprise, or maybe nearly 3. Brian will tell you there himself. Like I don't know, question, asking this, asking that, on the fence. And I think the biggest advice is you have your head and your heart. Just go for your gut feeling, the heart. Just follow what kind of feels right. And at the stage now, 5-6 years later, we're kind of making a good bit of change locally, I think, with a town centre, and it's become a very important, not a very important, but a very big name, and it's recognised all over the place. And that's 5 years of pumping hard, like blood, sweat and tears into it,
Starting to reap the rewards now. Definitely getting noticed. Well, thanks, Cars. I appreciate you coming on and talking to us.
Brilliant. No worries.
Cheers. Thank you.
Happy days.
Cheers. Bye. See you later.
Cheers. Right. See you later. Bye.